Hi, and welcome back. Have I got a challenging question for you? So, do you reckon you're able to do this exponent question? So, if the question was simplify this, you want to have a bit of a go at doing this? And I'm going to write out some rules for you. So, indice rules that you may know. So, if you've got two indices and you're multiplying them, you could just add the indices. If you're dividing the indices, you could just subtract them. Another rule you need to know is if you've got brackets, you multiply out the anything to the power of 0 is 1. And if you've got a negative indice, you could write that 1 over. So there are the indice rules that you could try to use to help you with this. So hopefully you've had a bit of a go at this monster of an equation. We're going to go through this in a second, so don't worry if you don't know how to do this. After you watch this video, and it may take a few times for you to watch this, and that's okay. It is a hard question. It is a monster question. So watch this a few times, and that's how we learn as well. We need to be exposed to the material a few times. But well done if you get this correct. Make sure you stay till the end because we're going to go through the answers. And you're going to learn something as well. So let's do this. Let's go through this. So let's work through the numerator first. So in the numerator, we have 4x cubed y squared all to the power 2. So what does that mean? That means every single element you see here, and by element, I mean this, and this, has to be. So we need to work out what 4 squared is first. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. Next, we need to do this squared. And so we're multiplying our indices, which brings us to this rule. Does everyone see that? Because you've got the cubed, and then you've got brackets, and you've got the square out. So we're going to use this rule. So that would mean that my x would have 3 times 2 indice, which is 16x6. Same with the y. You're going to do y squared squared. So again, in order to evaluate that, we need to use this rule. So you multiply out indices, and that would give me y squared. Y to the power of 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. Beautiful. Okay, and then we do the same to the denominator. So firstly, we need to work out what 2 cubed is. 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. Multiply that by 2 again, you get. And then same with the next element. So we're going to do 1 times neg 1 times 3, which is negative 3. And the y, if there's not a value there, it means there is a 1. Just erase all my annotations so it is a bit clearer. So if there's not a value here, it means there's a 1. So you're going to do 1 times the 3, which gives me 3. Perfect. Okay, on to the next step. So firstly, we could do number divided by number. So 16 divided by 8 is 2. And we're going to do this indice divided by that indice. And you have to be really careful with the negatives here. So we're dividing, so we're going to use this rule. So it means you subtract the indices. Because there's a negative, it gets a bit complex. So let's write it out. You would have x, and you would have 6, subtract negative 3. 6 take neg 3. I'm going to write out there. Whenever you have a double negative like that next to each other, what happens? It becomes a plus. 2 negatives, and they're next to each other, it becomes. So 6 plus 3 is 9. So let's rewrite this. So this should be 2x to the power 9. The y's, we need to do the same. So you've got y to the 4 divided by y cubed. You subtract those indices. 4 take 3 is 1. And we don't need to write it. You just write y to the power 1, which we don't need to write. We don't need to write the y. So it should just be 2x to the power of 9 y solution. Excellent work if you got that correct. If not, not to worry. Hopefully this video helped reinforce a lot of the concepts. Thank you for watching. I hope you felt like you've learned something and you feel good. And I look forward to seeing you next time when we're going to do some more mathematics. Bye.